Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Those who are new here, it's your girl Tracy. Today I am bringing you a Indian, obviously, as you can tell with the whole outfit and jewellery, I'm bringing you an Indian party wear look. And I've used the NUDE nude palette, which I'm really excited to use. So if you're interested, please keep watching. So guys, the first thing I'm going to start with is my eyebrows. I've already done this side. I'm going to show you how I do this side. So what I tend to use for my eyebrows is the Anastasia Dip Brow in Urbany. Yeah, Dip Brow Pomade in Urbany. And I use my Morphe M160. I think this is actually an eyebrow brush, but honestly it's really good. I love it just because it's so tiny and quite precise. I'm going to just take some product onto the brush, start not in the front but just here, just before the start, and then all I do is draw out my line. For this I just follow my brows, and then to fill my brows in I do an upward motion just to fill it in. And then what I'm going to do is draw out my top line, but when I draw out my top line I hold it really lightly. And I tend to have an arch, but with my arch what I do is I round it off so it's not like crazy pointy. Eyebrows for me is the longest thing, honestly. The inner eyebrow, because my hairs are quite sparse, I tend to draw some lines, but first I'm going to fluffy it out a little bit with the rest of the products. I've not put any product on this. And then what I like to do is I like to spoolie it just to give it that ombre effect so it's not too dark. I'm going to use a NUDE eyeshadow palette to do my eyes. I'm going to do a cut crease, about a half cut crease. It's just going to act like a setting colour for my crease, but also give it a nice pink hue. So for this I go above my crease. Oh, I forgot to say what brush this was. So this is the Morphe M429 brush. And the reason I use this brush is because it's really fluffy. And it's just nice to set out your concealer. If you used this NUDE palette before, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love to see what other looks everyone creates with this eyeshadow palette. Before I go any further, what I tend to do is I also start doing my eyebrow bone highlight as well. And the reason for this is so I know exactly where the rest of my shadow is going to go, and it just helps align everything. So for that I'm going to use my Amrezy highlighter. Place this. And when I do this, what I do is I'll put it there, and then I tend to bring it down a little bit. because you can always blend out the colour. And obviously your brow bone needs to pop, so always concentrate on this bit here. Now I'm going to go in with my transition shade, and for my transition shade I'm going to go straight into using Tickle, which is this lovely colour right here. My Morphe R38 brush. And I'm just going to go above my crease. So whenever I'm doing my eyes, I like to build up on it because it just gives you more control, and it gives you control on the blend as well, making sure that the colours that you do lay out, you can see it, and it just doesn't all blend into like sort of one shade. Into my base colour, and I'm just going to blend that bit out. Every colour to show through. So the next thing I'm going to do is my crease, and I'm going to use Spanked, which is this colour right here. And I'm using my Zoeva 228 crease brush. And for this I'm literally going to point my brush in and go into it in my crease. Again, with this I like to build up slowly instead of putting loads on. And because we're going to do a cut crease, we want to make sure that these colours show through once you cut your crease. And then I'm going to go back into my transition shade and I'm going to blend this out. I'm sure you guys know it's all about the blending, which obviously takes forever, but got to be done. Now the next thing I'm going to do is darken out that, because I know I'm going to cut the crease, so I want it to look quite dark in there, just so the colour actually does throw out. And for that I'm going to use Love Bite, which is this colour right here. And I'm going to use my Zoeva Smoky Shader in 234. And with this, I'm literally going to point it downwards and point it into my eyes, because I don't want to get rid of the crease colour. I just want to darken it up a little bit. And while I do this, what I'm going to do is, because I know I'm going to do a half cut of crease, I'm going to do my inner corner of my reline. Also, a trick that I actually do is when I'm doing eyeshadow, whether to decide if I want like a halo or a cut crease, what I tend to do when I first start doing eyeshadow, just in case I change my mind, is I always leave a gap in the middle to see if I want a halo, or would a halo suit it really. But in this instance I think it would, but I really want to do a cut crease. then I'm going to go in with my crease brush and I'm going to blend this through. And then overall I'm going to just blend upwards just to make sure my transition shade is still showing up and everything is seamlessly blended through. And my personal preference is always to use a big fluffy one just because it helps pick up the colours underneath as well and blend them all through. Cool, and now we're going to be ready to cut the crease. So to cut my crease I'm going to go back in with my concealer and my flat brush, and I'm just going to put it in the centre of my eyelids here. And now to know where exactly to cut my crease, I just roll my eyes up and then it forms a line, and that's sort of your guideline on where to cut your crease. This is just to make sure that when you cut your crease you actually see the shadow, because you don't want it to be hooded. So I start from the inner corner of my eyes, and follow the line through until I meet that line above. And then I'm just going to fill this out. Like I said, because I want a half a cut crease, I'm going to stop over here. With the NUDE palette, I did try using a brush for the foil based colours and the glitter colours, but they don't really come out that well, so I'm just going to use my finger. And the colour I'm going to go in with is Fantasy, which is this colour right here. And I'm just going to take that in my finger. And what I'm going to do is put it on my lid. This is a really nice colour actually. It's like her new there's melted eyeshadow things that she's brought out. Obviously that would be so much more easier when you're doing a cut crease, but I haven't got my hands on them yet, but I will do. Right, so that's how much I'm going to do with my hands, but I am actually going to go in with a flat-ended brush and I'm going to fill in the inner corners of my eyes. With this, it does take quite a bit of patience to do, but you want to just drag the shadow down so you're picking up the pigment. And don't worry if it looks messy, because we are going to go back in and blend everything out and add in some more of that crease colour. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is go back with my smoky shader and I'm going to add back in that crease colour. And this obviously helps everything blend in as well. You don't want to go in too much because you don't obviously want to make the line disappear, but it's equally important to go back in because you want to show that ombre effect as well. So go in a little bit, and as we're here, remember I was saying that we wanted the inner corner, so if we're in the corner, just going to flick that out but also blend that back in. And this time around what I'm going to do is blend, sort of create a triangle, sort of like how you would to do an eyeliner, you would create a triangle. So I'm going to do that because it just gives a really nice smoky look. Can you see I'm sort of going in like a V direction. And it just gives that a nice smoky look. I am also going to go in with Raw, which is this colour here, just to add a little bit more of a smoke into it. Basically want to blend the crease, cut crease, with that inner corner. I'm following the same technique of making that upwards V and blending it out. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is actually giving it such a nice smoky look, and that hint of brown that Raw has brings it out really, really well. And I'm just going to go lastly back into smoky shader and using Love Bite and just make sure that that's coming through nicely too. And then to finish off the whole shadow base is I'm going to go back into my fluffy brush and literally blend everything through. Can you see that smoky look? Obviously, because I'm doing an Indian look, I don't think I can get away with not doing an eyeliner, so I'm going to use my Revolution eyeliner, which is this one here. It's actually currently one of my favourite ones. It is, you'll see why, because it is really pigmented. So for this, I'm going to, I can't really talk when I'm doing eyeliner, but I'm going to basically draw it up, and I'm going to make this a thick eyeliner. If you do want like an in-depth eyeliner tutorial, please let me know in the comments below. Same goes for the eyebrows as well, and remember, they don't have to be twins, they are sisters. When I do Indian looks, I tend to make my eyeliner thick just because I like that retro look. So this is going to be the hard part, because obviously it's a struggle to get both of them right. So my two favourite types of eyeliner is a pen, which is the tip, or just using eyeshadow to do it. I used to be a fan of gel, but not anymore, only because they dry so quickly and you can't really work into it. I think that's pretty. Now for lashes, I'm just going to prep them, but I am using Samara lashes. She's on Instagram, and these are in Jasmine. So I'm going to do my foundation, and for foundation I'm going to use Fenty Beauty Pro Filter, and this is in the shade 330. Obviously damped my beauty blender. This is the Real Technique one. And I'm basically going to punch my face. I'm just going to blend this in. Now for the shadow, because I've got it there and I forgot to basically wipe it out, I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm just going to go in there. There's only certain foundations that I actually colour correct with. but with Fenty and with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, I don't tend to colour correct, which is a good thing because obviously that's another step. But if you're used to colour correcting, obviously do so. This Fenty foundation, when I first bought it and I started using the colour, I found it quite yellow, and I like my skin tone to be quite natural and like caramel. But once you start putting it on, and once you like, basically by the time you finish off your makeup look, it does blend into your skin tone. And for this one, for me, it gives me a really nice, like that golden caramel colour that I like. And obviously because we hardly have any sun in this country, I mean, I want that glow. So I'll quickly put my lashes on, and now I'm going to contour my face, and for that I am going to use the matchstick that is Fenty Beauty in Truffle. And honestly guys, I absolutely love this. Since I've got it, I've been using it, and it's so easy to blend and it's just so easy to contour as well. So I'm going to start off with drawing out the lines, obviously, that everyone knows about. While I've done that, I'm going to now I'm going to highlight my face with my concealer. And the highlight out. Masterclass by Melissa, and in that masterclass she showed us a trick, or showed us what she actually does, and she always starts off with a base first, and I need to get used to that, but she does the highlight before she does contour. So I'm going to do my highlight first, and then I'm going to blend in my contour. And for my highlight, I'm going to use the Anastasia highlighter by Amrezy, and I'm just going to use my Zoviva fan brush, which is 123, and I'm going to highlight. And the reason I'm not baking is because it's already, the concealer that I've used already has enough light to wear, and I don't want to bake that bit, but I want to bake my contour. And also because I just want my highlight to pop a little bit more. But occasionally I do bake, especially if it's like a long day out. I'm just gonna do my nose, and for my nose I tend to use my finger just to do the top, the bottom, and I know some people don't like doing this, but I like it. And then I'm just going to blend that out. and then my keeper's brow and my chin. To blend out my contour, and I'm using the Zoviva Defined Buffer. And with this, what I'm going to do is blend up but outwards. I'm going to use dabbing motion because I want that to just stay in that place and not move. And the reason I'm not going down is because obviously I want my cheeks to be chiseled and it's upwards. What I'm going to do now is take my beauty blender and I'm just going to make sure that everything's blended out and I don't have any harsh lines. So to finish off my contour, I am going to use my Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soil bronzer. And I'm just going to go over everywhere. I'm going to go in with my blusher, and I'm going to use the Revolution palette, Hot Spice, and I'm just going to blend in this colour and this peach colour here. I'd like to take my blusher to my contour just because I like it all blended in. And now what I'm going to do is go back with my highlight and I'm going to just highlight just to make sure that it comes through. Because obviously we're all about that glow. I had low battery, so I went ahead and put on these fab jewellery by Gill's Jewellery. I'm going to link her Instagram down below, and it's a collaboration I did with her, so please do go check it out. These jewelleries are amazing for like party wear. She does bridal. I would definitely highly recommend. And this top and dupatta is obviously from Miss Stacey Couture. Again, I'll link my Indian clothing line down below as well. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll do more. And lastly, I'll do shout outs if you click that notification bell button, and I'll do shout outs every video, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good start to the day, or whatever it is, and whatever time you are, wherever you are in the world. Have a good day and or a good night. Thank you for watching.